couple of different things. I yeah, as much as I love to play music, I love to watch other people play music in a live situation. You know, videos are nice or something like that. But when you're in the same room, you know, when you're 30, 40 feet away or 10 feet away from somebody making, I find it to be incredibly fascinating. I don't care what they're playing. The human act of making music is something that I am incredibly intrigued and excited about. I will sit and you know, pretty much, you know, it might be a style of music that you're unfamiliar with, but when there is a musician that you are in the presence of who's got the chops, there's something, an aura about that person. So when Mort showed up in Hagerstown, it was pretty obvious to me, this cat, he's got it. Yeah, I don't know how he wound up in the Blue Comets. I think he just showed up as a very, obviously like a master elder.
Yeah, I think the direction that they want to go in was a little jazzier, and Mort provided that for the Blue Comets. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew him as a sax player, and I had these two tunes, and it's funny that you picked up on. I was trying to kind of switch things up to do a performance that would, as soon as you thought that you had it down, then I would do something totally different to kind of keep somebody. I didn't want anybody to think the B-side was not worth listening to. That, you know,
right.
You kind of keep the attention like you do in a live performance. So you just go back to Creole Belle. That's a Mississippi John Hurt tune that I've heard any number of people do. Dozens of people do Creole Belle. And I had heard many people do it, you know, by the time I was 20, 25. But there's just the title, Creole Belle. I thought, like, you know, that sort of suggests New Orleans. With a solo guitar, I don't know how you do that. And then after, or on break at one of the Blue Comets performances, I went to Mort and said, hey, you know, I'm going to do this recording. I'd like you to play on it. And you know, not to get into Mort's personality, but I had to kind of twist his arm a little bit because I said, I want you to play clarinet, and he hadn't played clarinet in a long time. So I had to kind of ask him on multiple occasions. And finally, I just, okay, this guy's a, you know, schooled musician. I'll write him some charts. So I actually wrote charts from Mort and handed it, and he looked at it and he finally agreed. And I love the clarinet. If I wasn't a guitar player, I'd probably be a clarinet player. I've always had a simpatico kind of reaction to a well-played clarinet. My mom and dad used to play Benny Goodman pretty often. And I just love the sound of the instrument, and it's associated with New Orleans. I thought that would be a kind of a neat kind of twist, rather than do another version of Creole Belle that 25 other people have done in one way or another. What could we do to really make this one unique? So that was a no-brainer to me. Because if you're going to bring in a guy like Mort Feldman to your project, you're not going to bring him in for one tune. The tune that I had in mind was a tune that I wrote on the album called I Wonder Why. And that's fairly complex musically. It's got a rather... It took me 20 years to fully write that song. It started off as just a part of a study in a theory class while I was in music theory in college, looking at chromatic bass lines. And then I added a B part 4 or 5 years later. I used to play it as a solo piece. and then some lyrics kind of came to it as the last part of that process over many, many years. And the tune to me just had a American songbook kind of feel. Like it, you know, you could take the chord progression, the lyrics, the overall character of the music, and at least for me, I can imagine, you know, some jazz quartet in the 40s sort of, you know, playing that music. And that's really what I had in mind when I asked Mort to do it. And I have to, you know, if someone said to me, okay, there's 12 cuts on this album, and you got to get rid of 10 of them, the two that I would keep would be the playing that Creole Bell and I Wonder Why, because I think Mort's playing is just...
Yeah, it is wonderful. It's a great, nice touch to the album.
But I wonder why the stars in the sky don't return our way. One more time, I wish you were mine. What else could I say? The sound of a running stream wakes me from my dream, and on the right, this lady of the night, I smile and say, all right. But I wonder why the stars in the sky don't return our way. One more time, I wish you were mine. What else could I say?